Sheyi Daudu. First, the headlines. Chicago Varsity vindicates Tinubu. Presidency insists Atiku files documents today. On World Teachers' Day, Peter Obi calls for improved teachers' welfare. UAE officials in Abuja for talks with federal government on visa ban. Federal government set to begin door-to-door passport delivery. Ogun State government seeks partnership with US to develop critical sectors. Kidnapped Benue commissioner regains freedom. On the foreign scene, Uganda opposition leader Bobby Wine arrested, says party. In business, Naira among Africa's worst currencies falls by 40%. In sports, Saudi Arabia announces bid to host World Cup in 2034. And in entertainment, BB Naija Fina reacts to Kessie's infidelity saga. Stay with us, details coming up shortly. And now the news in details. The presidency on Wednesday insisted that the academic records released by Chicago State University, United States, had vindicated President Bola Tinubu and confirmed him as an alumnus of the school. The senior special assistant to the president on media and public affairs, Temitope Ajayi, also submitted that the CSU never said the certificate presented to the Independent National Electoral Commission before the presidential election by Tinubu was forged in its deposition. Having obtained Tinubu's academic records on the order of an Illinois Chicago court, former Vice President Abubakar Atiku would on Thursday, which is today, file his application at the Supreme Court. Atiku, who contested against Tinubu in the February presidential election on the platform of the People's Democratic Party, is expected to file the document he obtained from the CSU. Potential candidate has called for improved welfare for teachers and an urgent need to revolutionize the nation's education sector, which can help to reduce the number of out-of-school children. Obi made this call in a post shared on his X, formerly Twitter account on Thursday. According to him, the development of Nigeria cannot be achieved without the sacrifices of teachers. He stressed the significant impact of education while he served as the governor of Anambra State, stating that the many feats recorded in the education sector in Anambra State under his administration as the governor would not have been possible without the commitment and dedication of the teachers in the state. Officials from the United Arab Emirates (UAE) are said to have arrived in Nigeria to coordinate positions with federal government officials for the last stage of resuming commercial flights between the two countries and issuing visas to Nigerians. On Sunday, the five-member team of Almanai Khalid, Janai Asma, Asheu Rashid, Teo Texan and Auzani Talal landed in Nigeria. According to a top foreign affairs ministry official, the UAE delegation is already liaising with relevant Nigerian officials on the terms negotiated by President Bola Tinubu and Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan in Abu Dhabi on September 10. The spokesman affirmed some members of the team have already met with relevant Nigerian personnel. He stated that certain members of the UAE team were tasked with handling all aspects of the visa suspension, while the others, comprised of Emirates Airlines executives, are focused on flying resumption. The Minister of Interior, Dr. Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, on Wednesday said the federal government has concluded plans to commence door-to-door delivery of international passports in a bid to stave off difficulties Nigerians encounter during passport application. The minister also noted that Nigerians would by December have unrestricted access to upload their passport photographs instead of going to the passport office, adding that the courier service for passport delivery will begin very soon. Tunji-Ojo, who disclosed this in a press briefing in Abuja while updating Nigerians on the state of passport backlog in the country, further revealed that no Nigerian will have to wait for more than 2 weeks to get an international passport henceforth. He therefore urged the media to play its role by informing the public on the new seamless process, stressing that the government is working on cutting down on cost of travel for applicants. Governor Dapo Abiodun of Ogun State has solicited a partnership with the United States of America in developing critical sectors of the state's economy. Mr. Abiodun made the request when he received the American Consul General to Nigeria, Will Stevens, who led a 5-person delegation in a courtesy call to the governor's office in Abeokuta on Wednesday. The governor said his state considers the United States a progressive partner in the areas of economy, good governance, security, climate change, and human capital development. He said Ogun State is known for sophistication of its people and their cognitive political culture and has been described as the New Jersey of Nigeria and the leading industrial hub in the West African sub-region. Governor Abiodun added that the state needs to tap from the American experience to further its developmental stride. Mr. Matthew Agbo, the Benue Commissioner of Information, Culture and Tourism, who was kidnapped a few days back, has regained his freedom. Agbo, in a statement made available to the News Agency of Nigeria, NAN, on Thursday in Jos, thanked Governor Hyacinth Alia and the security agencies for ensuring his safe release. Agbo therefore called on all residents of the state to support government efforts and the security agencies towards tackling insecurity in the state. The commissioner, who thanked his colleagues, family members, friends and staff of his ministry for their fervent prayers, promised to serve the state to the best of his ability. He called on the residents to pray for the success of the current administration in the state, adding that the Alia-led administration means well for the state. NAN reported that Agbo, who spent 10 days in captivity, was kidnapped on September 24 at his hometown in Zaki Bayam local government area of the state. You are still listening to the World News at 12 on Smash 88.1 FM. More stories to come on the foreign scene in business, sport, and entertainment. Stay with us.
Save and win pali promo owó gbẹ̀mù 89 million naira lẹ máa fi ṣèfàjẹ́ ní sáà yìí kò sì gbọ́dọ̀ fún yín ru ẹ̀yẹ ṣáà ti fi ẹgbẹ̀rún mẹ́wàá náírà tàbí jù bẹ́ẹ̀ pamọ́ lóṣooṣù kẹ̀sì ṣènáwó ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ márùn-ún kéré jù kẹ́ ẹ lè jẹ́ olóríire náà tí ó jẹ́ ọkọ̀ ayọ́kẹ́lẹ́ jíìpù GAC títò kan pẹ̀lú àwọn ẹ̀bùn amóríyá mìíràn àwọn oníbàárà lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ àti tuntun náà lè kópa láti ṣí àkáǹtì titun kẹ́ ẹ lọ sí ẹ̀ka wa èyíkéyìí tó súnmọ́ yín àwọn àdéhùn àtàsọtẹ́lẹ̀ wà o.
For a big family party, what's the right soup that goes well with Golden Penny Semovita? A. Eforiru. B. Mian Taushe. C. Oha. D. All of the above. Final answer?
Final answer.
Correct!
Yes, Golden Penny Semovita is my soup's first choice. Made with premium wheat and enriched with vitamins. It's the right combo for Nigerian soups. Golden Penny Semovita, my soup's first choice.
Welcome back. You're still listening to the World News at 12 on Smash 88.1 FM. And now on the foreign scene, Ugandan opposition leader Bobi Wine was arrested on Thursday on his return home from a trip abroad. David Lewis Rubongoya, the general secretary of Wine's National Unity Platform, said on X, formerly Twitter, that Bobi Wine got picked up by regime operatives as soon as he landed at the airport. The post was accompanied by a photo appearing to show two men seizing him by the arms on the tarmac at Entebbe International Airport. Wine's supporters had planned to accompany him en masse to his home north of the capital, Kampala, to welcome him back, but police had said such gatherings were illegal. Last month, Ugandan police announced they were banning rallies being organized by the National Unity Platform across the country because of public order issues. Wine, a former singer whose real name is Robert Kyagulanyi, is a prominent critic of President Yoweri Museveni's government and has faced numerous arrests and alleged human rights abuses in the past. Canada is gripped by a surge in homelessness that has seen tens of thousands of people priced out of the rental and real estate market and left to live in the streets of the wealthy nation. Researchers warn government data is vastly underestimating the number of homeless across the country as the social ill spreads from major cities to small towns. In Quebec, 1 in 2 homeless people can be found in rural parts of the eastern province instead of mainly in Montreal, as had been the case in the past. According to a new report published in September, nearly 1 in 4 homeless people found themselves on the street after being evicted from housing, according to the Quebec government report. Between 2018 and 2022, the number of homeless people in Quebec increased by 44%, their numbers swelling to 10,000 last year. Indigenous people, who represent 5% of the Canadian population, are particularly overrepresented in the streets, especially the Inuit, said Lucia. Indian rescue team searched on Thursday for 102 people missing after a devastating flash flood triggered by a high-altitude glacier lake burst killed at least 10. Violent flooding from glacial lakes dammed by loose rock has become more frequent as global temperatures rise and ice melt, with climate scientists warning it poses an increasing danger across the wider Himalayan mountain range. Authorities said roads had been severely damaged and that 14 bridges had been washed away. Rescuers were battling to help those hit by the flood, with communications cut across large areas and roads blocked. The water surge came after intense rainfall burst the high-altitude Lonak Lake, which sits at the base of a glacier in peaks surrounding the world's third highest mountain, Kanchenjunga. Finally, on the foreign scene, President Joe Biden's dog Commander has been removed from the White House, a spokeswoman said on Wednesday, after it beat several staff members. The Bidens have sent the 2-year-old German Shepherd to an unknown location while they look at the next steps for the presidential putsch. The announcement came after newsmen and Axios reported that the commander, who arrived at the White House as a cute pup in 2021, had been involved in more biting incidents than previously known. The Secret Service had acknowledged that 11 of its agents had been nipped, but newsmen said the actual number was higher and that the dog had beaten other White House workers too. And now in business, the Nigerian naira is among the worst performing currencies in Africa, the World Bank has revealed. It noted that the currency weakened by nearly 40% against the US dollar since the mid-June devaluation. The Global Bank explained in its report titled Africa's Pulse, an analysis of issues shaping Africa's economic future, October 2023, volume 28. It stated that so far this year, the Nigerian naira and the Angolan kwanza are among the worst performing currencies in the region. According to reports, these currencies have posted a year-to-date depreciation of nearly 40%. And finally, in business, the World Bank on Wednesday advised the central banks of Nigeria, Ethiopia, and Uganda to refrain from unconventional measures that might undermine their monetary policies. According to the Washington Bank, these measures include monetizing the fiscal deficit, direct lending interventions, untargeted subsidy programs, and foreign exchange controls. The lender emphasized the critical challenge of inflation faced by monetary authorities in the region, particularly in countries struggling with underdeveloped financial systems, a substantial informal sector, and a lack of coordination between monetary and fiscal policies. The organization highlighted the potential consequences, stating if monetary and fiscal actions are not adequately coordinated to bring down inflation, the risk of de-anchoring inflation expectations would fuel further inflation, accelerate interest rate increases, and exacerbate the deceleration of economic activity. Up next is sports news from Jeremy Festus. Stay tuned.
In sports, the organizers of the Nigeria Professional Football League have said that medical experts have raised concerns over the introduction of random doping tests in the Nigeria Professional Football League by the Interim Management Committee. The NPFL announced on Tuesday that they had acquired test kits for doping from the United Kingdom, while also giving the clubs and players a 2-week notice. On Wednesday, the league body also posted an infographic on its X account stating NPFL players say no to doping. However, some experts have questioned the move by the NPFL, especially as it concerns the modality of carrying out the exercise, which they say is not supposed to be a one-off. A drug in experts and physical activity expert, Jimmy Oshinaike, noted that the announcement was vague. The Tigers of Nigeria beat Team USA 75-70 in their first game of the ongoing friendly tournament in China. The Nigeria senior men's basketball team left the country on Monday for China on a playing tour of games which began this week and will end on October 20. The team failed in their quest to pick a slot for the Paris 2024 Olympics during the qualifiers held in Lagos last August, but are on one of the several developmental programs of the Nigeria Basketball Federation board led by Musa Ahmadu Kida. It is the second time the Nigerian men's team have emerged victorious over the Americans, having stunned them 90-87 in a pre-2020 Olympics exhibition game at the Madali Bay Arena in Las Vegas in 2021. Reacting to the victory, Vice President, the Nigeria Basketball Federation, Baba Ogunade, said it was progress in the right direction. And finally, in sports, Saudi Arabia announced on Wednesday its plans to bid to host the 2034 World Cup, the latest step in a campaign to turn the kingdom into a global sports powerhouse. The bid intends to deliver a world-class tournament and will draw inspiration from Saudi Arabia's ongoing social and economic transformation and the country's deep-noted passion for football, said a statement from the Saudi Arabian Football Federation. News of the bid comes 1 year after neighboring country Qatar hosted the first World Cup in the Middle East, where the Saudi national team scored a stunning group stage victory over eventual winners Argentina. The Saudi announcement came in an hour after the world's football's governing body FIFA released a statement giving its plans for the 2030 World Cup and inviting countries in the Asian Football Confederation to bid for the 2034 tournament. On the heels of the Qatar tournament, Saudi Arabia signed Cristiano Ronaldo to play in the Saudi Pro League, the first in a slew of major signings drawn by eye-watering salaries to the world's biggest crude oil exports. That's all in sports news. Back to Oluwase Daudu for the rest of the bulletin.
And now in entertainment, amid the ongoing controversy surrounding Kess's alleged infidelity with fellow reality star Christy O, another housemate, Fina, has spoken out, revealing that Kess's wife, Della Morales, has also accused her of having an affair with Kess. The saga began when Della Morales accused her husband, Kess, of cheating on her with Christy O, a former Big Brother Naija housemate. Kess, however, vehemently denied these allegations, asserting that he had never been involved with Christy O or any other female housemate. In a live video, Fina addressed the situation, expressing her frustration at being falsely accused. She revealed that Della Morales had accused her of having an affair with Kess and claimed that they were currently discussing the matter. Fina emphasized the need to address the situation before it escalates further. And finally, in entertainment, the family of British actress and model Jodie Turner-Smith have broken their silence after she filed for a divorce from her estranged husband, Joshua Jackson. The actress's husband was left heartbroken when she filed for divorce on Monday after nearly 4 years together. Joshua, who was pictured without his wedding ring on Tuesday, said he isn't thrilled about the divorce, but insisted that their union had simply run its course. It has now emerged that Jodie's own family in the UK had no idea the divorce news was coming and were left shocked when they found out about it. In case you have any news story you want us to cover, you can send us a message via our email on news@smash88.1fm.ng or send a text message to 0818-851-0881. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Facebook, YouTube, X, and Instagram at Smash881FM. Please note, on this special day, we appreciate the teachers who inspire us every day and shape the future. May your passion for teaching continue to shine. Happy Teachers Day. And that's the news at noon on Smash 88.1 FM. Thank you so much for listening. I am